component of the ceremony. The work that we do here, really the only work, is to provide our students with the most authentic, challenging, and inspiring educational opportunities that we can. The class of 2012 has taken every advantage of these opportunities, and it is now my great pleasure to introduce Cody Burleson and Grace Levy, chosen by their classmates to speak on behalf of the class of 2012.
We were wondering why two students were chosen to represent the class of 2012.
Why two people to deliver one commencement address?
Perhaps they wanted the male perspective on attending Lakeside and how a real guy attains a diploma.
Or the female perspective on having to attend Lakeside with 67 attention-distracted males who are struggling to attain a diploma.
Then it dawned on us. In reflecting upon our years at Lakeside, there were two sides to every moment we spent here. Two sides to every story.
Two sides to every class we took, every event we attended, yes, even every friendship we made.
And so, for your consideration, we'd like to spend our few minutes reminiscing about the two sides of life at Lakeside.
Let's start with Than. What an honor it has been to have had Than as our upper school director. We looked up to him every day. And up. And up.
On the other side, he looked down on us every day.
Although Bernie didn't tower over us physically, he has been the pinnacle of erudition, a veritable skyscraper of insight, a monolith of mental agility.
On the other side, Bernie has a small soft spot for certain words. He doesn't think of us as the class of 2012. To Bernie, we're a community of hungry intellects, whose pursuit of common purpose forms a community of compassionate souls who, as graduates, will join the community of mankind as exemplary representatives of the great Lakeside community.
And speaking of community, we're deeply honored to be surrounded by all the parents and grandparents and friends who are here today.
In large part, it's your support, both financial and emotional, that made it possible for us to proudly call ourselves Lakesiders.
On the other side, while you went to sleep, we were still trying to put a 10-page history paper to bed. While you were setting the dinner table, we were busy memorizing the periodic table. While you couldn't wait to try out that new Tom Douglas restaurant, we were trying to appreciate Tom Dolger's interpretation of Waiting for Godot.
Regardless of the rigors, it has been a great privilege to have had a Lakeside education, to have been taught by such talented and dedicated instructors, to have been encouraged to make a difference in so many distant lands, to have been challenged to develop every artistic ability.
On the other side, we would have liked a little more sleep. And as soon as this gig is over, I'm going to bed for 5 days. Yes, it's been 4 tiring years. But now we sit here, confident and collected seniors, rulers of the school.
On the other side, we never lost that eternal freshman essence. And in a matter of months, we'll all be freshmen again.
We wear prom gowns and tuxedos. On the other side, we kind of still miss our jammies.
We got to be the first class to study in the new Bliss. On the other side, we had to muck through the ball field to study in porta-potty condos.
We started the year by dressing up as Greek gods and goddesses. Draped in togas, we scaled our cardboard Mount Olympus. We thought ourselves invincible.
On the other side, we received letters from colleges which began, "We're sorry to inform you," that knocked us quickly back to earth.
But in the end, we all found new homes, where we'll make new friends, embrace new challenges, and for many of us, discover a new city.
On the other side, we'll receive donation request letters to remind us of the school we left behind. Forever.
Through the years, we've become masters at acronyms. Sure, every parent knows about the SAT and the ACT and the AP exams and our GSL trips.
But was your child a member of the MUN? Did your kid answer BPQs? And how well did your little genius do on DBQs?
On the other side, we never caught enough Z's.
We were all members of a remarkable, sorry Bernie, community, and will miss being tightly connected to each other. Bound by schedules, united in teams, performing in ensembles, exploring in groups.
On the other side, we won't miss all the souk stalkers. We will miss the sweet sense of freshly baked refectory fare, the just mowed grass of the quad, the gentle aroma of tea brewing in Zinda's office.
On the other side, we won't miss those baffling odors of the senior room in the library. Or 20 petri dishes gone bad in Allen Gates.
Of course, we must confess the perception that Lakeside students are so studious is, well, quite true. We really do look forward to our free periods so we can study, and we're not ashamed to say that we take our work very seriously.
On the other side, the most boisterous spot at school is the silent reading room. And the coolest kids are those who've been kicked out of the library.
We've learned from Holden Caulfield to stay away from phonies. We've rooted our way through imaginary numbers. We've debated mythical creatures.
On the other side, we've built authentic friendships.
We've done so much. We're cold warriors who have mastered Warrior 3 pose with Rodney Yee. We've unraveled the cluster of chaos theory while fending off infectious diseases.
In astronomy, we've learned to label the stars in the galaxy. And in gender studies, we've learned not to label so much. We've started businesses in microeconomics. We've become fluent in a foreign language.
On the other side, we still fumble for the right words. And there's still so much we wish we could have done. There are classes we never had the chance to take, teachers we never had the privilege to learn from, outdoor trips on which we'll never embark. We've learned that knowledge is often best acquired through experience, not just through dialectic. That the wider your eyes have been opened, the more revealing and unsettling the world appears. We've learned we need to listen more than we speak. We realize we need to slow down and take a deep breath before we charge ahead. Yes, we're here celebrating an educational milestone, but in reality, it's only a pebble, because we've learned just how much we don't know. Receiving a diploma is just a dip in the ocean of experience. As graduates, we're encouraged to make a mark on the world. Cody and I think it should be a question mark.
As John F. Kennedy said, we should remember on both sides that civility is not a sign of weakness, and sincerity is always subject to proof. Let us never negotiate out of fear, but let us never fear to negotiate. Let both sides explore what problems unite us instead of belaboring those problems which divide us. When my feet first alighted on this campus, I was in shock. I came from a class of only 28, and being surrounded by over 100 of the smartest people I've ever met was overwhelming. Freshman Cody was profoundly insecure, naive, awkward. Seniors looked like they could squash my dreams and split me in twain with the slightest tap. The first hit I received on the Lakeside football team, delivered by one Duncan Hussey, left me reeling for a couple of days. Although I already weighed 200 pounds, my size was not indicative of my inner strength. I hardly spoke to my teammates, or my classmates. I felt I didn't fit in. I knew I'd get out of here as fast as possible. But instead of running away from Lakeside, I ran faster on the field. I shed blood, sweat, and tears for my teammates. I tackled my insecurities. I tossed freshman Cody aside and tossed discus and the shot instead, and became captain of the football team. On the other side, I also dabbled in acting and got to marry Grace.
I loved Lakeside before I ever arrived, and I fell deeper in love as each year passed. Freshman year, I hesitated in the wings, waiting on the sidelines of the stage, afraid that the spotlight would illuminate the fear pumping through my body. But I took that first hesitant step and discovered that, to the contrary, I was walking on air. Over the years, I've passionately embraced the drama program. I've danced with abandon in a white wig at assembly. I've shed sweat and tears on the St. Nick's stage. Thankfully, no blood, save for Lady Macbeth's guilty hands. On the other side, I also dabbled at track with Cody. And after tripping over 100 meters of hurdles, I learned that my gawkiness is better served in the theater than on the field.
Commencement speeches often end with a profound and poignant truth. On the other side, we're just 18 with few years of wisdom to impart.
Therefore, we would like to leave you with the knowledge that refreshments will be served in the refectory at the end of today's ceremony.
Thank you.